Ciao guys, PXCam20 back in with a brand new video. We are here at Assetto Corsa CompetIzione as we are at Monza for a quick 20-minute race, but unfortunately we did not make it to the qualifying, so that's why we are waiting here in the pits as we're waiting for qualify 10. As you can see on the top right, there's only about 18 seconds left on the qualifying. So unfortunately we were unable to get the qualifying in, so we're going to start most likely in the rear. So it's going to be a very interesting race as we're going to start in the back. And again, on this game, unlike GT Sport, there is damage included on the race, so that's one thing we're going to have to be aware about when we work our way through the field, and hopefully we can finish at least in the top 10. That's what we're shooting for. Best case scenario would be finishing in the top 5, and then like amazing scenario would be getting either a podium or a win on this race, which is kind of unlikely, especially because again, this is Monza. It's a little difficult to do overtakes here, and not only that, we don't have that much time to try to make our way through the field as we do only have 20 minutes in the race. Before we jump into the race, if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps that channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that's not promoting myself. Let's jump straight into the race. So jumping into the race here, we are getting ready to pull away now as we shift into first gear, turn on our engines, and follow this group ahead of us and get into our grid spot, as we are going to be starting in 19th place for this race, as we were able to at least not finish, but start in 20th place. So getting ready into Parabolica as we are now getting into our grid spot, moving to the right hand side. We're going to be starting right behind the Bentley, again in 19th place, as we are for some reason inside this Mercedes ahead of us. But in our grid spot now, we're waiting for the green lights, as we are now getting our green lights, and we are a go as we are heading down the straightaway. We accidentally started in second gear instead of first gear, so we do not get a good drive going down the start finish line, as we do lose all the positions, and we are now located in last place. Coming down to the first corner, it's actually not going to be too bad for us, as we don't have to deal with all the traffic jam and all the damage. As you can see already, there's a car on the grass, couple cars spinning out ahead of us as we are patiently working our way into the first chicane. Coming to the first chicane, you see there's another car to the left hand side, and a Ferrari getting pushed out by the Porsche as we get punted right behind, and we actually make contact with the Ferrari right ahead of us, as we had nowhere to go right there, as we were riding along with this guy named Ollie. Not sure exactly what he was doing here. Moves into the inside, tries to make an overtake on the grass, makes the overtake on the Ferrari, cuts right in front of him. Another Ferrari gets pushed out wide going into the first chicane, and then Ollie overshoots that corner, goes very wide, punts out the Ferrari, goes back onto the track, and then gets spun out by the Ferrari. Just a lot of stuff happening there, as again, we were unable to get onto the brakes early, and we accidentally made contact with the Ferrari. But it gives us only a little bit of damage, but not too much, so we should be okay with moving forwards. But luckily we were able to get in a couple positions because of the incident going into the first chicane, as there you can see there's more yellow flags ahead of us. But right now we are in 16th place as we come into the second chicane, and let's see if we can try to make any type of moves ahead of us. As you can see, the Porsche overshoots the corner, misses the braking point, goes up the rumble strip, and cuts the first chicane right there. So we have to now focus our sights on the Ferrari and see if we catch up to him and the Porsche ahead of us now as we come into Lesmo 1. So coming into Lesmo 1, we're just trying to get into our rhythm here, as there's another yellow flag ahead of us as we come into Lesmo 2. Coming to Lesmo 2, you see the yellow flag to the right, and then you can see a couple of cars parked to the right hand side. We overtake them, and that's 2 free positions for us now as we come down the straightaway, leading us into Ascari. Let's see what happened here to the Porsche. So the GTR gets wide, goes very loose, and then ends up hitting the Porsche. So the Porsche was just an innocent bystander, and unfortunate for him, he was caught up in that GTR's wreck, as we again are now on the straightaway, leading us into Ascari. So 2 free positions there. Now focusing our sight again on the Ferrari. We're trying to make a move onto the inside, looking onto the inside, a little too optimistic, so we're going back out of the move there as we head to the first part of Ascari chicane. Coming to the end of part of the Ascari chicane, there's a car already in the middle of the track, just spun out, and we were able to get around him as there was another car spun out at the end of the Ascari chicane. And you can see the Ferrari gets a little bit loose, goes into the grass, and we now make up another 3 positions. So we started in 19th place, got demoted all the way back into 20th, and now we are in 12th place now, as we are setting our sights on the Porsche ahead of us as we come into the second lap now. So coming to the second lap, following the Porsche right ahead of us, we're trying to find a way to get around him or catch up to him so we can get around him, as we are still in his slipstream here as we come out of the first chicane. Coming down to Curva Grande, there's another yellow flag, and not sure exactly what happened ahead of us, but you can see there's a blue Audi to the left hand side going very slow. So we're going to try to make a move onto the outside as we head to the second chicane. Coming to the second chicane, we're able to overtake the Audi, but he brakes later than us, so he actually gets to overtake back on us. So we have to follow him now as we come into the second chicane, going into Lesmo 1, and we are now promoted into 9th place. Not sure exactly how that happened. I think a couple of people lagged out, but we are still right behind the Audi, so we are setting our sights on him and seeing if we can get to him before the end of next lap. So coming into the second Lesmo, a couple cars go a little bit wide. As you can see, a little bit of grass getting kicked up into the sky there. And we're just following the Audi right ahead of us in the slipstream as we come down into the Scar chicane. And following him here, seeing if we can make a move onto the inside, but we're a little too far back to make any type of move as we do brake very, very late. But ahead of us, the Ferrari and the Porsche are making a little bit of contact as the Ferrari gets back onto the track, slows down the Audi as the Audi gets very, very loose coming out of the Scar chicane. And we make the overtake now, and we are able to gain the position as we now set our sights again on the Ferrari ahead of us, staying right behind him on the slipstream, trying to make a move onto the inside as we head to Parabolica. A little too optimistic again as we're going to follow right behind him and just follow our way into Parabolica and see if we can get a good slipstream heading down into turn number 1. So coming out of Parabolica, staying right behind the Ferrari, we're just going to hold our line, follow him in the slipstream, as that's going to be the best thing to do right now, especially because we have the Audi behind us. We don't want to make any drastic moves, any hard battles right now, because the Audi can easily just make an overtake on us, especially because he's still very close to us. So we're just going to follow the Ferrari here going into turn number 1 as we try to brake as late as we can, make a look onto the inside, but he's going to cover us, so we're just going to hold our position. As you can see, the Audi is getting very, very close to us on the mirror, and there's actually a car to the left-hand side. Not sure what happened to him, but we're able to pass him there as I think he was the lap down, so we didn't get in position because of that. So coming into the second chicane here, braking as late as we can. The Audi gets very, very close to us as we almost miss our braking point. Turning very, very early, have to turn out a little bit wide as we almost hit the sausage curves, but we are able to pull away a little bit from the Audi as we come into Lesmo 1 and start again focusing again on the Ferrari right ahead of us. So jumping a little further into the race now, we still have about 14 minutes left on this race as we are following the Ferrari coming out of Scar chicane, staying right behind him on the slipstream as we head down the straightaway leading us into Parabolica. We're going to see if we can try to get as close as we can so we could make a move onto the first corner as we're slipping onto the inside. Again, thinking twice about it as we don't want to try to make any drastic overtakes here and accidentally take him out. There's another car to the left-hand side. Not sure what happened to that car, but that was for position as we are now promoted into 8th place. So unfortunate for him, but fortunate for us as a lot of cars that's just been being taken out in this entire race. So we're just following the Ferrari right ahead of us now on the slipstream. Coming down the straightaway as we listen to turn number 1. Are we going to be able to make any type of move down here as we're very, very close? Brake very early so we avoid making contact with him, and we're just going to follow in line as we come into the first chicane right behind the Ferrari. So coming out of the first chicane, you see to the left-hand side, the Audi actually misses his braking point and just goes straight into the chicane. And luckily he slowed down, so he gave us back the position. So good on you, Audi, as we are coming in now into the second chicane. Following the Ferrari ahead of us, we're just still trying to get close to him and trying to see if we can make any type of overtake on him as we're now coming into Lesmo 1. And coming to Lesmo 1, staying right behind the Ferrari. We're just staying right behind him, going as wide as we can, trying to use as much of the track limits as we can, as we don't want to get the Porsche too far ahead of us as we get a really good run coming out of Lesmo 2 now. Staying right behind the Ferrari, we're getting closer and closer to his back bumper now as we're in the slipstream. Going into the inside, we're going to try to position ourselves for an overtake here, heading into the Scar chicane. Going onto the inside, we're staying there. We're trying to brake as late as we can, and we're able to make the overtake now on the Ferrari. So I give that a 10 out of 10 move as we set ourselves up perfectly for that, and we're able to capitalize on that, make an overtake, and come out of the Scar chicane in 7th place now, as we set our sights on the Porsche right ahead of us. Jumping up a little bit further into the race, we have about 10 minutes left in the race as we are now catched up to the Porsche, and we're going to try to stay right behind him and see if we can try to make an overtake on the inside heading into turn number 1. Cut it back to the inside. We try to get a good cutback on the Porsche as we come out of Parabolica, now leading us into the 5th lap. Staying right behind the Porsche on the slipstream. We're going to stay right behind him as we're getting a very, very good run coming out of the corner. Moving into the inside as we're going side by side as we head into the first chicane. Try to brake as late as we can, but the Porsche actually outbrakes us, so we got to give him the position there. He gives us the space, but he runs a little bit wide going to the first corner, but he goes a little bit wide going out of the second corner now, and we're able to cut back on him and make the overtake there as we're just holding off into the outside, so we're completely around him, and we are able to do so now as we head into Carro Grande, and we are now able to secure 6 places. Let's see exactly what happened here. So the Porsche just outbrakes himself there, and I think that affected him into the next corner, and he goes out very, very wide, almost goes into the gravel trap, and we're able to capitalize on that, move it to the inside, and get the position done. So now we are up into 6th place, as we are now setting sights on the 5th place Ferrari right ahead of us as we jump up into lap number 7. We are coming into Lesmo 1, and just trying to catch up to him. As you can see, we're about 7.8 seconds away from the 4th place Ferrari, so I think a car ahead of us actually lagged out, so not sure what happened to him, as we get very, very loose coming out of Lesmo 2, and you see there's a car to the right hand side braking, and as I think it was a car lap down right ahead of us, so almost losing it there. Very, very tricky part coming out of Lesmo 2, as you're going to see right here coming out of Lesmo 1, heading into Lesmo 2 on lap number 8. We brake right at the 50-meter board, clip the apex there, go a little bit too wide, and we lose it right here as we're getting very, very squabbly, almost running into the wall, and we're able to catch it, luckily, as we almost took ourselves out without any pressure. We had no one ahead of us or behind us, and we're able to hold our position now as we coming down into the straightaway leaders into the Scar chicane. So jumping to lap number 9, we only have 2 minutes left on the race. As you can see, the 4th place car is about 11 seconds ahead of us, and we're just trying to do everything we can to at least minimize the gap and see if we can try to capitalize in case if he does make a mistake, as there is yellow flags coming up ahead of us. But there's a Porsche right behind us that is a lap down, and he's catching up to us now as we're heading to Lesmo 2. Coming out of Lesmo 2, there's a car parked to the right hand side. It's actually 4th place, so it's the Bentley that got taken out in the Ascari, not in Ascari, but Lesmo 2. Not sure exactly what happened to him, as we're going to jump into the replay here and see what exactly happened to the Bentley. Coming to Lesmo 1, he is able to stay right behind the Ferraris. There's a car to the right hand side. Maybe they made a mistake, and that's the blue Audi. As the blue Audi actually messes him up a little bit as he goes into the Lesmo 2 very, very wide, and I think that's what screwed him up, made him go a little bit wide coming out of that corner, and he ended up making a mistake and spinning himself out, as we are now heading to the Scar chicane in 4th place. So somehow we are managing ourselves into 4th place, as a lot of cars again have just been making a lot of mistakes or getting taken out, and we've just been able to capitalize on it, as we did start in last place now as we are coming to the final lap, and all the way position ourselves into 4th place. So coming down the straightaway now on the final lap, you see the Porsche is gaining on us on the left hand side, but he is a lap down, so I'm willing to give him the position. But if we do so, the Bentley in 5th place is going to be right on our back bumpers. You can see now on the rear view mirror, he is right on our back bumper, so it's going to be a very, very crucial last lap here to hold off our 4th place away from the Bentley, as we are following the Porsche now, getting into Curva Grande. We're trying to get into a slipstream and have him propel us forward a little bit so we can try to get away from the Bentley, as the Bentley has been strong on the corners, catching up to us now as we're coming into the second chicane. Coming to the second chicane, the Bentley tried to outbrake us, and we hold our position there as he kind of backs out of the move there, as I think he would have ran into the side of us. So we're able to hold our position now as we come into Lesmo 1, and just holding our position, trying to find any way to abuse all the track limits again as we come into Lesmo 2, braking right after the 50-meter board, go as narrow as we can onto the apex and go as wide as we can coming out of the corner to use up as much track as we can, and we're able to get a good run here. But I think the Bentley's going to get into our slipstream and be able to get a better run as we now head into the Scar chicane for the final time. So coming to the final time to the Scar chicane, we brake as late as we can, and we're able to hit our first apex and our second apex pretty good, but the Bentley actually gets a lot better than us and gets a way better exit coming out of the Scar chicane, as we have only one more corner to go, which is Parabolica, as we're heading down the straightaway. Covering the inside here, as we're going to cover the inside heading to Parabolica. Let's see if we can hold off our 4th place position from the Bentley as we come into Parabolica. Now we actually get tapped from behind, and the Bentley spins us out as we are spun into the gravel trap, and so is the Bentley. So we have to get back onto the throttle as soon as possible so we don't lose another position as we are trying to get back onto the track. We're able to do so here, as 5th place now is starting to catch up to us, as we are trying to get just back into the track because we don't have too much damage on the back, but we are able to finish the race in 4th place with a dramatic finish. Not sure exactly what happened with the Bentley. I think he just missed his braking point and accidentally ran into us as we are coming to the replay here. Let's see what happened here. The Bentley was just following us here coming to Parabolica, and yeah, he just completely missed his braking point and spun us out, and I think that hurt him as he actually lost the position there. So we were able to hold off our 4th place somehow miraculously, as that Ferrari right ahead of us almost overtook us as we did get spun out at the final corner on the final lap. So a very, very exciting race. Very happy to start in 20th and then end up finishing in 4th place. So very, very proud of myself, especially on this race, where again we were just able to capitalize on everybody's mistake and just make some really good and clean overtakes. So I hope you guys found this video very, very entertaining. If you guys did, please subscribe and leave a like on the video, as it really helps that channel when you guys do so. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.